The biggest reason that I've seen after managing tons of sales teams is that people pitch way too early or they pitch late. It's one of the two. Mainly they pitch too early, which is how you get objections, right? It's so funny because so many things in sales, especially remote sales, people just think that's how it is. You know, you have to have a 50% close rate. It can't be 80%. You have to have like an average show rate of 6%, or you need to give your setters 5%. You need to give, like, you don't need to do things, and like things don't have to be a certain way. Okay, so a lot of the times people justify just being so shit. They justify it by, that's just how it is. It's just not how it is, you're just shit. Okay, so for example, people train so much for objections. You will get them, but a lot of you shouldn't be getting them as much as what you are. But you get them because you pitch when you shouldn't. Here's how you can pitch at the right time to not get objections and to close a lot more deals. You need to be temp checking on every single one of your calls. So after you've done your start of the call, discovery, you've shown them everything, you've gone through everything, you're then going to temp check them. Now, you're gonna say something like this, look, so Daniel, I've shown you this, we've talked about this, pretty cool, right? Yeah, so look, I've got one question that probably means the most to me. As I've mentioned throughout the entire call, we don't work with everyone, right? You've seen the community, how could we work with everyone? The quality wouldn't be the same. So I wanna ask you one question that means the most to me personally. Is that okay? Cool, so if I was to just give you a scale, okay, use your hands, if I was to just give you a scale, this scale is 1 through 10. 1 being, you're like, dude, I need this, right? You're sick of watching YouTube videos, you're sick of consuming free information, you're sick of just, constantly being behind because you won't take action. Like you just want this. 10 being, you're still a little bit on the fence, you're okay to watch some YouTube videos, you're not 100% bought in, maybe you don't think that you can do it, right? You're a 10. Where are you on the scale? 1 being fucking amazing, or 10 being like, I could go without. Where are you? And they're gonna give you a number. If they're a 1, great, move into your pitch. If they're anything less than a 1, now I repeat, anything less than a 1, even if it's a 9, no, it would be a 2 in this instance, right? If it's a 2 or a 3, you always ask them, if it's not a 1, why? Why are you a 1? I'm curious, why you're a 1? You mentioned that you were struggling with XYZ, I showed you XYZ here and you're pretty stoked about it. So I'm curious, why are you not a 1? And they're going to tell you. So instead of you getting objections and you trying to do all this crazy bullshit that you learn on Instagram to try and figure out the reason why and then try and de-escalate it and fucking, like you're fucking diffusing a bomb, right? They'll just tell you why they're not a 1. Yeah, look, I just don't really think I can do this, or look, I really need to know the price because I don't know the price of it, so how can I be a 1? Or, they'll start to give you all these things and then you diffuse it there and then you ask again. So, now that we've, covered this, where would you say that you are now? Still a 3 or do you think that you're a 1? Cool. And you do not go on to move into the pitch unless they are a 1. By at all means, do not fucking move until they are a 1, okay? Otherwise, you're just gonna get objections, you're gonna get people that don't wanna buy. This is the best way to close more deals and know when you should be pitching so you don't get bullshit objections, or you don't need to talk about, like, again, you could also just be saying too much. There might be a point in your call where you should have temp checked because now you're just rambling on and they would have bought 5-10 minutes ago. Right? So you just need to make sure that you're following a process. For example, start, discovery, show and tell, temp check, close. That's the process that all of my sales teams follow. Right? You should be doing it at the same time of every call, roughly about 25 minutes to 30 minutes in the call. So then you can then hopefully move on to the close on that 35-minute mark. That way you can take more calls per day, make a lot more money per day, hence hitting big monthly amounts. All right, so always temp check. If you aren't, you are sabotaging yourself and you are losing out on a shit ton of money.